Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Kentucky Route Zero. So I just ended, well, I basically started this episode right immediately after ending the last one, so let's just continue on. It's time to go. There's more to do here. Huh. It's interesting how it gives us that last choice. Gets back in the truck, Conway stays put. Oh, I think that it seems like this is always just a random choice. Huh. It's interesting. It seems like every location, when you try to go back in the truck, it gives you like a randomized choice of the different options, which are the same, but they just have slightly different wording. Okay, yeah, and these are notes that we have, so these are just the directions we were given. So this is how to get to the up north ways by the lake, right where Peonia and Wax Road meet. So that's where the one chick with the repair shop or whatever is that she wanted us to go to. I guess we'll try to find her. I do slightly remember where it's located. For some reason I thought when it said by the lake, I thought it meant like down here, because this looks like a lake on the map kind of. But apparently this is a lake, even though it looks more like a, I don't know, tributary or something than a lake. Then again, I don't really know my geography terms that well, so what do I really know? I guess it depends on how big this actually is compared to the size of the map. So here's the bait shop. I apparently remembered where it was exactly. Conway pulls into the bait shop parking lot. Vaulted above the door on a thin steel bar, a handwritten sign reads, "Live bait. Minnows, small and also large for strippers, night crawlers, chips, and beer." A green flyer hangs loosely from a bit of masking tape at eye level. To the shop's right, a dirt parking lot sprawls unevenly into grass, and then eventually trees. Trees? Oh. For some reason I thought the word trees was like a verb, like it eventually trees, like it trees out, but that doesn't make any sense. It's saying there's eventually trees in that location. I don't know why I read it like it was a verb. Okay, I guess read the flyer. Computer printed type in a bold font surrounds a clip art illustration of a TV set. The TV has eyes, arms, and legs. Its shoulders are slouched. On the screen is a cartoon expression of exhausted nausea. A hot water bottle rests against its wire antenna. The way that is described, it really like pops into my head what it looks like. Actually, what it reminds me of is it reminds me of back in like elementary school when we had to do projects and shit. I remember our teachers would always say, at least in my elementary school, or at least the one I had, would always say like, "Oh, you're not supposed to use like clips off of the internet because that's copyright, that's plagiarism. So you can only use Microsoft clip art." I remember she said that, and it was just so funny to me. But yeah, this just gives me a vision of one of those old stupid clip art things. Alright, TV repair. No model too old. Inquire within. We do not sell digital converter boxes. Guess let's enter. Narrow aisles crowded with lures, reels, rods, and snacks divide the shop lengthwise from the entrance to the cashier's counter. The left wall is lined with churning tanks of water. Yeah, I don't go fishing often, but I used to go with my grandpa every once in a while, and yeah. I always loved sort of going to the old, and my grandpa, I remember, would always go to these on purpose. He would go to like the old bait shops that are sort of in the middle of nowhere, like by a lake. And I always loved them just because they look so shitty, to be honest. Like, I don't know, at least in my opinion, I kind of hate like a lot of gas stations. They're all just copy cuts of the same thing all across, well, all across the world. Like a BP, I'm sure in Wisconsin is going to be the same as a BP in Texas or whatever. They just all look the same, and I just like going in those old rustic like bait shops and gas stations that sort of have their own unique classic look to them. I don't know. That's just me. Alright, I guess let's look into the tanks. The 3 metal tanks aren't labeled, and the water is too agitated to get a clear view of what's inside each one. The contents of the first tank are vaguely gray, the second is a muddy pink, the third is clear but shiny silver flecks occasionally flash along its surface. It's kind of funny because a lot of these choices, like, you would never do it in real life, but at least as far as I've seen with this game, it doesn't matter if you do really stupid shit. Like would you put your hand in some random cloudy tank? No, you probably wouldn't, but even in this game, it seems like there's no, like, death or anything. And I was actually expecting to die. I remember the first time I played this game, like I was expecting it to be like the Sierra games or something where when you do a stupid decision, they'll just say, okay, you're stupid, you're dead now. Go back to the whatever last save was. Alright, guess let's reach into the first tank. Conway's hand brushes against something roughly the size of his palm. Well, let's reach deeper. I mean, come on. Conway's hand comes into contact with the scaly, uneven surface. As he runs his fingers along the bottom, a bead of sweat bridges the inches from his temple to the water's surface. Something bites at his forearm. He recoils. Okay, let's reach into the second tank then, now that we've got a nice bite on our arm. Conway's fingers slip through something fleshy but inert. The sensation is nauseating. Well, let's reach deeper, I mean, come on. As his elbow passes into the pinkish mass, he realizes he's about to be sick from the smell and pulls away. There we go. Now let's reach into mystery tank number 3. The water seems to tremble with life. Conway can't tell if his hand is being nibbled by fish or massaged by the artificial current. As his eyes near the surface of the water, he can see something colorful glowing faintly at the bottom of the tank. Well, I mean, let's reach deeper. I mean, come on. Gone this far, a tremor spreads from his elbow out to his fingertips, and up to the base of his shoulder. His vision flickers. The water is running warm under his skin now, and he has the sensation that something is about to snap. His eyes close, and then the sound's gone. He lays on a rooftop, new shingles rough beneath his back. Swelling in the noon sun, he's exhausted. They must have started before dawn. His legs are sore from holding stable on the uneven surface. His wrists from breaking old sealant, his fingers from carefully lifting shingles to hammer down new ones. His boss, Ira, yells from the idling truck below. He shades his eyes with his hand. A beer would be good. It's barely past noon, but he's worked up a full day already. What could the harm be? Maybe a shot at the counter, just to get his eyes open. Then a beer. He can offer to drive into town for lunch and stop at that place on Cumberland. The cashier pushes Conway roughly on the shoulder. He's been talking, yelling maybe, but it's all an echo now. Conway looks up, his neck stiff with pain, his right palm still tingling. The cashier points to the tank, then above it to a few holes torn in the wall. Nail holes from which an electric sign has become dislodged and fallen into the water. He helps Conway to his feet, looks at him pitifully, and returns to the cash register. So yeah, we just stuck our hand into a water tank that's apparently got electrical current in it, and I guess that caused us to black out and have a flashback, so that's fun. Yeah, so that's all the same. Guess let's approach the counter. A wiry cashier stands behind the register, preoccupied with a Sudoku puzzle. Ask about Shannon Marquez's workshop, ask about the basketball game. Guess. Actually, if you remember, I think when we were in the diner, we also could ask about the basketball game, so that's weird. It really makes us feel like we actually were a member of this town, and maybe we are dead, and we're just kind of trying to piece together memories of our life or something. I don't know, it's weird. I guess let's ask about the basketball game. Cashier switches on the radio, and AM sports broadcast is playing, but Conway can't be sure if it's meant to answer or drown out his questions. It's about Shannon Marquez's workshop. A handwritten sign on the door behind the counter reads, TV repairs by appointment. Please consult with cashier. The cashier knocks a few times on the door and waits, occasionally glancing at his puzzle. After a few minutes with no answer, he notices a smaller note written on the sign. It reads it and points it out to Conway. Read the note on the door. Weaver, I got your message. Have left for the old mine. Don't know if I will see you there or not. Ready either way, Shannon. Well then. I guess that's all we can really do, isn't it? Guess let's leave. Yeah, I think that's about everything. Guess let's drive. So let's go to the on-ramp now, get back on the 65 heading north, then take the first right after the artificial limb factory. Good. I love me some artificial limb factories, don't you? Actually, let me do so. There's my Steam name, so if any of you have Steam and you feel like adding me, then there you go. It's exactly the same as my name here. except it's not capitalized. I'm sure there's probably more than one Hap dude, or at least there's probably people with similar names, so just cross-reference the little picture that you could probably see there as well. Guess let's look in the factory, huh? A creek runs alongside the highway and then turns toward a dirty brick building. A grinding drone from within the building is faintly audible from the interstate. Floodlights on the lawn illuminate smokestacks. At the edge of the building's parking lot, a large sign, partially obscured by trees, reads Amer ... Artificial Limb Factory. Probably American Artificial Limb Factory. I wouldn't be surprised. Of. Guess let's go down this street. I don't think we went down here yet. It's kind of funny because you never really know what street you have or haven't gone on. Actually, the museum that I went to over there, I don't remember going to it when I played myself. There's actually another location that I think it's down here, and I want to show it on video. Okay, there's dragonflies. I think, did I see that? I think I saw that on screen, or on recording. There we go. That's the word. After a minute or two, yeah, I think I heard that. It said southeast. Oh, there's a house. Yeah, we didn't go here. The truck pulls up to a house with an intensely bright porch light. A cloud of dragonflies swirls around the light, darting, hovering, turning at right angles. There are no lights on in the house. A stencil on the mailbox reads 2880 Beakers Boulevard, and below, written in marker, no solicitors, I work for long hours and retire early. So yeah, that's all that is. It's kind of funny. It's just such a, like, purposeless, meaningless kind of thing, but it's just there for flavor text, which, I don't know. It's interesting nonetheless. I think it kind of gives you... I mean, it doesn't even give you a picture of the town, stuff like that. It's just... I don't know. It's just weird. It adds to the oddness of the game, I'd say. Okay, here's the one place I remember that I think I forgot about. Okay, the exterior of the Barren River Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation. Jeez, that's a mouthful. Actually, now that I remember, is this not the name of the place that's supposed to provide power for the gas station? Yeah, the front door hangs open from a broken hinge. The windows are dark. Let's look in the window. The windows are too dirty to see anything inside but a few dim shapes. Furniture, maybe, or livestock. Enter the front door. The room feels empty with no furniture other than the built-in front desk. Host to a disconnected telephone and a few empty beer cans. Meandering lines of color have been spray painted along the wall. Behind the desk, a hallway leads into darkness. Let's pick up the telephone. There's no dial tone. The phone is disconnected. Listen closer. With the phone pressed close to his ear, Conway can hear a thin, quiet roar, like the ocean or the highway. Guess let's enter the hallway. The hallway passes several smaller office doors. It quietly disappears into darkness. Something is glowing in the distance, barely. Let's try an office door or two, I suppose. One of the office doors is still locked. Another has been broken open. The door handle bent awkwardly inwards and embedded in the wood, but it's jammed against a filing cabinet. On closer inspection through the crack in the door, the whole room is filled with filing cabinets and other disused furniture. The hallway passes several smaller... Yeah, I read that. Let's walk to the dark end of the hallway. The door at the far end of the hallway is tightly closed, but a warm glow bleeds in from its edges. Let's open the door. The handle is loose, and the door swings open easily. The hallway fills with warmth, light, and the smells of smoke and coffee. About a dozen men and women sit around a campfire in the middle of a large room. Cubicle walls have been cut into pieces, some leaning up against the walls and some arranged into stacks of firewood. One of the women waves to Conway and offers him an empty chair. It's missing wheels, but it's comfortable and easily adjustable to his height. Someone takes a pot hung above the fire and pours coffee into the styrofoam cup. Conway accepts it, and they all return to watching the fire. And that's it. So yeah, That's interesting, and it appears that my hall is having a tornado drill, so I guess I have to leave now or something. So, thank you all for watching, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.